Welcome to XFO Intelligence Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-bending discoveries in modern biology, how a single cell becomes a conscious human being. Our research team has been analyzing the groundbreaking work of biologist Michael Levin, featured recently on Lex Friedman's podcast, and what we've uncovered will fundamentally change how you think about consciousness, intelligence, and life itself. Let me start with a question that should keep you awake at night. How does a blob of chemistry and physics, a single fertilized cell, transform into someone capable of dreaming, creating art, and pondering the meaning of existence? This isn't just biology, folks. This is the universe's most magical transformation happening right in front of our eyes. Michael Levin puts it beautifully. Each of us takes the same journey across the Cartesian cut, starting off as a quiescent human zygote, a little blob thought to be well described by chemistry and physics. Gradually, it undergoes metamorphosis and eventually becomes a mature human with hopes, dreams, and a self-reflective metacognition. But here's where it gets really wild. Our XFO Intelligence analysis reveals that this transformation isn't about adding parts, it's about scaling intelligence itself through two incredible mechanisms that sound like science fiction but are happening in your body right now. The first mechanism is called leaky stress. Imagine if your problems could literally become my problems, not because I care about you, but because stress itself can leak between cells, like water through a sieve. When one cell gets stressed, it releases molecules that make neighboring cells more plastic, more adaptable. Levin describes it as a physical implementation of an error function. The amount of stress is basically the delta between where you are now and where you need to be. This creates something extraordinary: coordination without a coordinator. No central command telling cells what to do, just stress propagating through tissues, creating a feedback loop of collective problem-solving that scales from molecules to organs to entire organisms. The second mechanism is even more mind-bending: memory anonymization. Picture electrical synapses called gap junctions directly linking the internal environments of cells. When something happens to one cell, that information propagates through the gap junction to neighboring cells. But here's the kicker: the receiving cell has no idea whether that memory belongs to them or their neighbor. As Levin explains, when you share memories like this, it's harder to say that I'm separate from you. If we share the same memories, they have joint memories of what happened to us. This creates what he calls a mind meld that enables a higher cognitive capacity because you now have greater computational power. Think about this for a moment. Your consciousness isn't something you possess, it's something that emerges from billions of cells sharing stress and memories, gradually expanding the boundary of what you includes until it becomes sophisticated enough to contemplate its own existence. Our computational simulations reveal three critical insights that validate this revolutionary framework. First, optimal cognition requires balancing individual identity with collective integration. Too rigid, and you can't share information. Too fluid, and you lose functional specialization. Second, biological systems undergo sudden phase transitions when connectivity reaches critical thresholds. This explains why embryonic development happens in bursts rather than gradually. Each threshold crossing enables entirely new capabilities. Third, and this is where it gets really exciting for medicine, cancer isn't primarily a genetic disease, it's a failure of collective identity. Cancer cells are literally electrically disconnected from their neighbors. They forget what they were supposed to be working on and revert to being simple, selfish amoebas. But here's the revolutionary part. Levin has shown you can reconnect cancer cells to the network, and they remember their original purpose. No chemotherapy, no genetic modification, just reconnection. As he puts it, you can just reconnect them, and they go back to what they were working on. This reframes everything we know about medicine, artificial intelligence, and consciousness itself. We're not machines to be reverse engineered. We're cognitive systems that scale intelligence through collective computation. The implications are staggering. For AI development, this suggests we need architectures that can share error signals and memories dynamically, not just process information in isolation. For medicine, it opens entirely new therapeutic approaches based on enhancing natural collective intelligence rather than fighting disease with toxic interventions. But perhaps most profound is the philosophical implication. There is no Cartesian cut, no magical moment when matter becomes mind. Consciousness emerges through the same physical processes that build our bodies, the iterative scaling of collective intelligence through shared stress and memory. As our analysis concludes, we are not born conscious, we grow into consciousness. The mind isn't separate from the body, it's what the body becomes when its collective intelligence scales to include self-reflection. This is the universe becoming conscious of itself, one leaky stress molecule and shared memory at a time. I want you to sit with this for a moment. Every thought you're having right now, every emotion, every moment of self-awareness, it's all emerging from billions of cells that learn to share their problems and memories so effectively that they now can contemplate the very process that created them. This research represents a fundamental shift in how we understand life, intelligence, and consciousness. We're standing at the threshold of a new biology that sees organisms not as machines, but as cognitive systems that can be understood, guided, and enhanced. What do you think? How does this change your understanding of what it means to be human? Are we witnessing the birth of a new science that will transform medicine, AI, and our understanding of consciousness itself? I want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Share this episode with someone who needs their mind blown. And don't forget to subscribe to XFO Intelligence for more deep dives into the ideas that are reshaping our understanding of reality. Until next time, remember, you're not just a collection of cells. You're a scaling system of collective intelligence that has become sophisticated enough to wonder at its own existence. And that, my friends, is absolutely extraordinary.